Wireless technology is amazing and sometimes fragile. Cracked screen, battery issues, water damage? Yakety Yak Wireless in Colleyville is the place to go for top-of-the-line service and accessories to bring your wireless device back to life. At Yakety Yak, we have an experienced staff and repair thousands of phones a year, from iPhones and iPads to the latest Android phones. Just off of Highway 121 in Colleyville, Yakety Yak Wireless can repair your phone. Or if you need a replacement, we have hundreds of used phones for sale. Yakety Yak Wireless in Colleyville.
Okay, so today we have the iPhone 6. We're going to do an unboxing of this and then a partial disassembly to kind of give you guys an idea of what we're going to be doing when we fix it. The iPhone 6 is 4.7 inches, the 6 Plus is 5.5. The biggest thing that we can tell you at the beginning of the unboxing is be very careful. We've already had 3 customers who, in the process of opening their box, have watched their beautiful new iPhone skitter across the table onto the floor and crack. So we've already had 3 cracked ones in the store. As you can see, the iPhone 6 looks fairly similar to the iPhone 5. A couple of key differences. The screen on the iPhone, which we'll get to in a second. Let me just show you the inside of the box. It looks like the inside of every other iPhone box. You get your nice headphones, your power cord, you get the sync cable, and the charge block. Now let's go ahead and get that out of the way. So on the iPhone 6, one of the things that's important is the fact that the screen sits above the frame. It has this pretty beveled glass, but it makes it exceedingly fragile. The other thing you're going to notice is the camera on the back side. Notice how it sits out from the frame, which means when you set it down on the bar and you start to spin it, your camera's going to get all scratched up. So make sure you put it in a good case. The glass is not sapphire glass. It's just regular. It's the same Gorilla Glass that's been on the iPhone 5. They added a little extra hardening agent to it, but from what we've seen, it cracks just fine. And the case is a lot thinner, and because it's a lot thinner, it does bend. So you're going to want to put it, you're going to want to protect this phone pretty well. It uses the same pentalobe screwdriver to open it up. One of the things that we have noticed with the iPhone 6 is it does open a little bit easier than the iPhone 5s. Because that screen's sitting up on top, it makes it come apart pretty quickly. You can use a suction cup to open it. We actually have a special tool that we got that has dual suction cups. On the iPhone 5s, you had a cable that was underneath the home button that if you pulled the screen up too far, you would rip that cable. That cable does not exist on the iPhone 6. So you feel free to open it. Remember, it opens from the bottom towards the top. So we're going to go ahead and open up our little pry tool here. And attach this guy right here. This is kind of a neat little tool that we got. I think we got it from Phone Surgeons is the name of the company. So go ahead and put some pressure here and it just pops right open. Release the suction cups and then we can take our first look inside the iPhone 6. They did move the power button to the side, but other than that, the iPhone 6 is remarkably similar on the inside to the iPhone 5. They also moved the vibration motor. It's covered underneath a panel down by the loudspeaker on the lower right hand side. You can't see it. The battery is larger. So you can see here there's no connector cable on the for the home button. The home button connector cable is a flex that actually runs underneath the plate between the LCD and that back plate and connects to the top flex area on the upper right hand side. There's the battery connector. Underneath, it's battery and then the dock port flex. So we're going to go ahead and remove this so we can disconnect the battery before we start pulling any cables. You can see they changed the way it connects up a little bit. So, and one of the nice parts is the battery connector they changed from the 5, so you're not going to have as bad of a chance of breaking the prongs as you did on the iPhone 5. It is very tight in here. So you see that's what the cable that we're looking to disconnect right there. Get in here. If you're going to use any metal tools, make sure they are electrostatic safe tools, or make sure that you are grounding yourself by holding on to the iPhone when you work on it. This guy's kind of tough to get off. So there you go. So it's a little different connector than it was on the iPhone 5. You won't be as prone to breaking those little prongs. So up top, where we're going to disconnect the screen, there are now 5 screws. instead of the original 4. There's one in the center. There's also now, instead of being 3 flex cables, there's now 4. The flex cables are digitizer, LCD, the multifunction cable that controls the proximity sensor, the camera, and the earpiece speaker, and then the 4th cable is for the home button and the fingerprint sensor. Go ahead and get these screws undone here. We will have a full video showing a complete repair on one of these up soon. We're just waiting on getting some parts in. Parts are still very, very expensive. So we'll go ahead and start popping off some of these flex cables. There you go. LCD, proximity sensor, digitizer, and underneath this, our new 4th cable. So look at that. You got 1, 2, 3, 4 now. Okay. So you now have the fully assembled screen and the fully assembled back. Okay. Again, you can see the beveling on that glass. That is going to make it very, very fragile and very prone to getting nicks and chips in it. I do like how easy it comes apart, though. It is easier than the iPhone 5. So a couple things about the 6 here. Dock port looks remarkably similar. Headphone jack over there. Speaker box. And this is the flex cable for the dock port. Power button. Underneath here is probably where the vibration motor is hiding. That's a removable plate. You got your SIM card tray. So let's go on up here. Again, the 4 flex connectors. All in all, a pretty straightforward design. Very similar to the 5. Shouldn't be too much of a problem. So now let's take a look at the screen. That's the new home button assembly. So there's 2 screws to remove the home button plate. And you can see on the left side the little indentation there. That's where the plug-in flex is for the home button. So it's actually got a little plug-in flex down low, and the cable runs up the inside of that silver plate. Here, let's go ahead and remove that. So now you can see the home button. And there is the flex connector, which we're going to remove right here. I'm trying to go really slow here since I have no spare parts, and this is my personal phone. So there you go. That's the little flex connector. And so that whole home button assembly is held in with adhesive, and that comes out. And then the mid plate has screws that we're going to go ahead and take off. You see that little connector right there. Okay. Now, you can actually see the channel on the plate. That's where the wire runs. It runs all the way up top, underneath that channel. You take off the top earpiece speaker protector. The upper proximity sensor cable, flex cable, has changed quite a bit. It looks much more involved. We don't actually take it all the way off on this phone. The speaker comes off really easily. So there's the speaker cover shield, the EMI shield for it. And you can see the flex here. It's a complete assembly. That's the front-facing camera. And then we're going to go to the screws. So there's 1, 2, 3 here. 4 right there. And then down the other side, 5, 6, and 7. So we have 7 screws. We're going to go ahead and speed it up here and get these screws off.
No, we had not picked up. And I bought in a,
All the screws appear to be the same size, so you don't have to worry about that.
Actually, no, it would have been yesterday. Yeah, how's that for a weird price? 44.
Okay, we got all the screws done. And so now, that plate, that cable is actually attached to the plate. So this is where you got to really be careful. So you can see as I pull on it, it's attached over here on the lower left side. So we're going to grab it from the top and lift down. And this way you can see that it's actually connected here. And see, it's an adhesive, so we're going to have to use some heat to free it up. I go really carefully on this. It's actually not too bad. I just needed to use a little bit more heat on it. So we're going to give it some heat here. We set our heat gun to about 160 degrees Fahrenheit. Anything past that, you can start melting components. So we're going to apply some heat right over the top of that, and then just work at it. I mean, you see in this video I spent a bunch of time on it. It's actually not that bad. You get a little bit of heat on it, and then you can pull from the inside out. You just don't want to tear it. So you can see I'm kind of puzzling it here, trying to figure out if I want to pull it from the outside or not. So the best way is to actually just pull from the inside outside. Yeah, so see, it's not gonna, it's down too tight to try and grab it from the front side like this. The adhesive on the front actually runs over to the left of the little flex connector. So you could technically pull it up from there, but I still think it's better to grab it from the back side once it's heated up. So you can see right here that little it's like a tab that you can work on. But it's pretty stuck. So you can see it's just, it's kind of tight there. Going to get it with a little bit more heat here, warm it back up. And again, that's just, 2 or 3 seconds of heat. And then we're going to try and grab it from the back side. So I'm going to go ahead here and, like I said, just gently pry from the back side. With the heat, it should come off, and there it goes. You just got to be careful. Get that flex cable out of the way so you don't tear it when you lift this thing off. And there, the part's out. So now you can see the connector. Got to focus on it and see, then it just runs right up underneath this back side of this plate. Comes all the way up the top side. So that's pretty much it as far as we're going to take it today. It's kind of a teaser. Expect a full repair video from us here in the near future where we'll take the phone all the way down and apart. But the good news is that you can actually repair the iPhone 6, which is really nice. Some last little bits here of the upper flex cable and so you can see there's the speaker. So the speaker just pulls right out, which is nice. So that's the upper part of it. And stay tuned to Yakety Yak Wireless. Call us at 817-399-1000 if you have any questions. And hopefully we'll see you in a future video. Thank you.